ओके अब मलाई परेको टपिक चाहिँ म्यानेजमेन्ट अनि प्रोसेस एन्ड फङ्सन्स अफ म्यानेजमेन्ट हो। सुरुमा चाहिँ अब बेसिक म्यानेजमेन्टको डेफिनेसनै हेरौँ हैन। म्यानेजमेन्ट इज द एक्ट अफ गेटिङ पिपल टुगेदर टु एकम्प्लिस डिजायर्ड गोल एन्ड अब्जेक्टिभ्स युजिङ अभाइलेबल रिसोर्सेस इफेक्टिभली एन्ड इफिसियन्टली। अब यो त क्लियरै छ होला। यसमा चाहिँ म्यानेजमेन्ट भने चाहिँ अब रिसोर्सेसहरू अभाइलेबल रिसोर्सेसलाई अब मजाले युटिलाइज गर्ने अनि जुन कम्पनीको एउटा डिजायर्ड गोल हुन्छ अथवा जुन एउटा अब्जेक्टिभ हुन्छ त्यो मिट गराउन सक्नु नै म्यानेजमेन्ट हो हैन। अब यसको चाहिँ डिफ्रेन्ट ठाउँमा डिफ्रेन्ट छ, कतै 7 छ, कतै 11 छ, तर बेसिक चाहिँ यही 5 वटा रहेछ। त्यही भएर 5 वटै डिस्क्राइब गरेको छ। अब यसमा चाहिँ प्लानिङ पहिलो चाहिँ प्लानिङ नै हो, त्यसपछि अर्गनाइजिङ, स्टाफिङ, डाइरेक्टिङ, कन्ट्रोलिङ, यिनीहरूबाट 5 वटा बेसिक फङ्सनहरू छ म्यानेजमेन्टको। अब यिनीहरूको बारेमा हेरौँ। प्लानिङ भने चाहिँ इट इज द फर्स्ट एन्ड द फन्डामेन्टल स्टेप अफ म्यानेजमेन्ट प्रोसेस। इट मिन्स डिसाइडिङ वाट, हाउ, वेयर एन्ड वेन समथिङ इज टु बी डन। अब फर्स्ट हो यो एकदम फेज म्यानेजमेन्टको प्लानिङ चाहिँ। यसमा चाहिँ सुरुमै अब वाट, हाउ, वेयर, वेन एन्ड समथिङ इज टु बी डन भन्छ। यसमा चाहिँ सुरुमै सबै कुरा डिसाइड गरिसकेको हुन्छ। अनि प्रोजेक्टिङ द फ्युचर कोर्स अफ एक्सन फर द बिजनेस इज अल्सो प्लानिङ। अनि बिजनेसले अब फ्युचरमा हामीले के गर्ने भन्ने कुरा डिसाइड गर्ने अथवा एउटा जुन प्रोजेक्सन लिने त्यो पनि म्यानेजमेन्टमै पर्छ। प्लानिङ क्यान बी लङ टर्म एन्ड सर्ट टर्म। यो चाहिँ अब लङ टर्म पनि हुनसक्छ, सर्ट टर्म पनि हुनसक्छ। जुन चाहिँ अब 3-4 वर्षमा एचिभ गर्ने गोल कुनै सुरुमै सोचिन्छ भने त्यो लङ टर्म भनिन्छ। अब सर्ट टर्म भनेको कुनै अब 1 महिनाको प्रोजेक्टको लागि कुनै एउटा प्लान बनाइन्छ भने अथवा 6 महिनाको प्रोजेक्टको लागि बनाइन्छ भने त्यसलाई सर्ट टर्म भनिन्छ। जेनरली इट इज अन्डरस्टुड द्याट प्लानिङ इज द जब अफ टप लेभल अफ म्यानेजमेन्ट। हाउएभर इट इज इम्पोर्टेन्ट एट अल लेभल्स इन भन्छ होइन। अब हामीले चाहिँ टप लेभलले मात्रै गर्ने काम हो यो म्यानेजमेन्ट भन्ने बुझ्छौँ, तर यो होइन। अब बेसिक एउटा आफ्नै लेभलबाट नि कुनै काम गरिन्छ भने एउटा बेसिक प्लानिङ जसको पनि हुन्छ त्यो चाहिँ हरेक लेभलमा इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुन्छ। अब प्लानिङमा के इन्क्लुड गर्छ भन्दाखेरि सेटिङ अर्गनाइजेसनल अब्जेक्टिभ यो भइहाल्यो। यसमा सुरुमै अब कुनै अर्गनाइजेसनको अब्जेक्टिभ सेटिङ गर्नु पनि एउटा प्लानिङै हो। सुरुमा म्यानेजमेन्टकै प्लानिङमा पर्छ। फोरकास्टिङ द इभेन्ट, आज के गर्ने अथवा कुन इभेन्ट कहिले हुन्छ भनेर यो सोच्नु पनि प्लानिङै हो। त्यसपछि फर्मुलेटिङ पोलिसिज एन्ड प्रोसिडियर्स, के पोलिसी हो त्यो फर्मुलेट गर्ने अथवा कसरी गर्ने भन्ने कुरा सबै यो प्लानिङमै पर्छ। प्रिपेरिङ वर्क सेड्युल एन्ड बजेट, सुरुमै अब बजेट कता कता एलोकेट गर्ने, के गर्ने, अब वर्क सेड्युल कुन महिनामा के हुने, कुनमा कति भ्याउने, यो सबै सुरुमै प्रिपेयर गर्नु नै प्लानिङमा पर्छ। त्यसपछि हाम्रो अर्को सेकेन्ड प्रोसेस भनेको अर्गनाइजिङ हो। Organizing is the second step in the management process. It involves dividing a plan into activities. अब सुरुमा प्लान मात्रै बनाएर भएन। अब प्लानलाई चाहिँ एउटा होल प्लानलाई चाहिँ सानो सानो ग्रुप बनाएर एक्टिभिटिजहरुमा डिभाइड गरिन्छ। यसमा चाहिँ यो स्टेपमा चाहिँ ग्रुपिङ द एक्टिभिटिज इन ए लजिकल प्याटर्न। अब सुरुमा के गर्ने, त्यसपछि के गर्ने, यो भएन भने के गर्ने, त्यसरी सबै लजिकल प्याटर्नमा एउटा अर्गनाइज गरिन्छ। एन्ड असाइनिङ दिस ग्रुप अफ एक्टिभिटिज टु इन्डिभिजुअल्स, अब कसलाई के काम दिने भनेर एउटा ग्रुप बनाइन्छ अथवा सिंगल कसैलाई ह्यान्डल पनि गरिन्छ यो अर्गनाइजिङमा। द मेजर एक्टिभिटिज अफ अर्गनाइजिङ इन्क्लुड्स आइडेन्टिफाइङ मेजर एक्टिभिटिज। सुरुमा त अब मेन काम के गर्नुपर्ने हो त्यसलाई आइडेन्टिफाई गर्नु पर्यो। त्यसपछि ग्रुपिङ देम इन्टु देयर म्यानेजरियल युनिट्स भनेको अब डिफ्रेन्ट युनिट बनाएको हुन्छ। कुनै पनि प्रोजेक्ट गर्दाखेरि प्रोजेक्टलाई डिभाइड गरेर डिफ्रेन्ट युनिटमा बाँडिन्छ भनौँ न। त्यो अब मान्छेहरूलाई एउटा युनिट बनाइन्छ, त्यो पनि अर्गनाइजिङ स्टेपभित्रै पर्छ। असाइनिङ जब टु डिफ्रेन्ट डिपार्टमेन्ट्स एन्ड इम्प्लोइज, त्यसपछि इट डिटरमाइन्स हु विल डु अ डिस्टिङ जब, वेयर एन्ड वेन इट टु बी डन। यसमा चाहिँ कसले कुन काम गर्छ, कहाँ र कहिलेसम्म कम्प्लिट गर्छ भने डिसाइड गरिन्छ। यही स्टेपभित्र पर्छ यो पनि। यिनीहरूको नेक्स्ट स्टेप इज स्टाफिङ। Once the planning and organizing is done, the next step is placing the right place for the right job. This is called staffing. And therefore, the staffing process provides the organization with adequate, competent and qualified personnel at all levels. यो चाहिँ अब कुन मान्छेलाई के काम गर्न दिने भन्ने कुरा नै स्टाफिङ हो। अनि स्टाफिङले चाहिँ के गर्छ भन्दाखेरि राम्रोसँग स्टाफिङ गराएको छ भने एडुकेट एडुकेट कम्पिटेन्ट र क्वालिफाइड इम्प्लोइहरू चाहिँ हरेक लेभलमा पुग्छ भनौँ न। भनेको एडुकेट भनेको चाहिँ तपाईँको कुनै पनि प्रोजेक्टमा कतिजनाले एउटा प्रोजेक्ट कम्प्लिट गर्न सक्छ भनौँ न, इक्वल ठ्याक्कै राइट एमाउन्टको एडुकेट। कम्पिटेन्ट भनेको चाहिँ राइट क्वालिफाइड भनौँ कम्पिटेन्ट भनेको। अनि त्यो सबै लेभलको स्टाफहरू चाहिँ हरेक लेभलमा पुग्छ। अब स्टाफिङमा चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि डिटरमाइनिङ टोटल मेन पावर रिक्वायर्ड, कति चाहिन्छ त्यो एउटा प्रोजेक्टमा, कति मेन पावर दिने, कतिजनाले चाहिँ यो प्रोजेक्ट ठ्याक्कै कम्प्लिट हुन्छ भन्ने कुरा हो यो चाहिँ। त्यसपछि रिक्रुटमेन्ट, सेलेक्टिङ एन्ड अपोइन्टमेन्ट अफ द राइट पर्सन फर द राइट जब, यो पनि एउटा इम्पोर्टेन्ट पार्ट हो यो। यसमा चाहिँ अब रिक्रुटमेन्ट सुरुमै अब स्टाफ चाहियो, कतिजना स्टाफ हायर गर्ने, को हायर गर्ने, कति स्किल सेट भएको मान्छेलाई राख्ने भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ यो पनि त्यहाँ डिटरमाइन हुन्छ। अर्गनाइजिङ सेमिनार्स, वर्कसप एन्ड ट्रेनिङ टु डेभलप इम्प्लोइज स्किल, यदि आफूसँगै भएको इम्प्लोइमा त्यो स्किल जुन काम गर्न गइरहेको छ कम्पनीले त्यो स्किल मिट गर्दैन भने सेमिनार अर्गनाइज गरेर हुन्छ कि वर्कसप अर्गनाइज गर्ने हो कि ट्रेनिङ दिने हो कि त्यो पनि गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। पर्फर्मेन्स इभ्यालुएसन, प्रमोसन एन्ड ट्रान्सफर इम्प्लोइ, यो पनि हो। त्यसपछि गरेको प्रोजेक्ट गरेको अनुसार कस्तो गर्दैछ भनेर इभ्यालुएट पनि गर्नुपर्छ। त्यसपछि त्यही अनुसारको प्रमोसन एन्ड ट्रान्सफर पनि गर्नुपर्छ। रिम्युनरेटिङ इम्प्लोइज एकोर्डिङ टु देयर स्किल्स एन्ड एबिलिटी, यो भनेको चाहिँ अब पेमेन्ट भनौँ, जस्तै स्टाफ कुनै स्टाफले कतिको काम गर्छ अथवा कतिको मेहनत गर्छ त्यही अनुसार पे गर्ने अथवा प्रमोट गर्ने, यो नै कुरा हो। त्यसपछि डाइरेक्टिङ एन्ड लिडिङ, द बेस्ट प्लानिङ, अर्गनाइजिङ एन्ड स्टाफिङ डजन्ट गिभ एनी रिजल्ट अनलेस देयर इज प्रपर डाइरेक्टिङ। यो चाहिँ अब अगाडिदेखि दुईवटा स्टेप अथवा तिनवटा चाहिँ मजाले गर्दै आएर तर बिचमा यो डाइरेक्टिङ भन्ने एस्पेक्ट चाहिँ राम्रोसँग कम्पनीले हेरेन भने फ्रुटफुल रिजल्ट आउँदैन। फर दिस द म्यानेजर मेक्स द इम्प्लोइ एक्कम्प्लिस देयर टास्क बाई मेकिङ देम इन्टिग्रेट देयर इन्डिभिजुअल इफर्ट्स विथ द इन्ट्रेस्ट एन्ड अब्जेक्टिभ अफ द एन्टरप्राइज। अब म्यानेजरले चाहिँ यसमा चाहिँ आफ्नो स्टाफको पोटेन्सियल चाहिँ युज गरेर एउटा अर्गनाइजेसनको जुन एउटा अब्जेक्टिभ हुन्छ त्यो चाहिँ मिट गराउँछन्। द डाइरेक्सन फङ्सन अफ द म्यानेजमेन्ट इन्क्लुड्स सुपरभिजन, यसमा चाहिँ सुपरभिजन, मोटिभेसन, लिडरसिप, कम्युनिकेसन, कोअर्डिनेसन, यी कुराहरू पर्छ। त्यसपछि कन्ट्रोलिङ एन्ड मोनिटरिङ, द डाइरेक्सन इज गुड बट इट डजन्ट इन्स्योर द्याट देयर विल नट बी एनी डेभिएसन फ्रम द प्लानिङ। यसमा चाहिँ के भनेको भन्दाखेरि सबै स्टेपहरू राम्रो भएर डाइरेक्टिङ पनि राम्रो भएर तर के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि प्रोजेक्टहरूमा सुरुमा एउटा मेन प्लानिङ फेजमा जुन एउटा मेन अब्जेक्टिभ सेट गरेको हुन्छ तर काम गर्दै जाँदा लङ प्रोजेक्टहरूमा अथवा सर्ट प्रोजेक्टहरूमा काम गर्दै जाँदाखेरि एउटा डेभिएसन आउँछ। डेभिएसन भनेको चाहिँ एउटा कुनै गोल सुरुमा डिटरमाइन गरे हुन्छ तर काम गर्दै जाँदाखेरि त्यो गोल मिट नगर्ने अथवा एउटा कुनै थ्रेसहोल्ड सेट गरे हुन्छ त्यहाँसम्म नपुग्ने अथवा के भन्छ प्रोजेक्टले अर्कै टर्न लिने, त्यसलाई चाहिँ डेभिएसन भन्छ। देयरफोर टु एलिमिनेट अर रिड्युस द डेभिएसन द कन्ट्रोलिङ अर मोनिटरिङ इज डन। यसमा चाहिँ टाइमली गएर कन्ट्रोल गर्ने के भइरहेछ प्रोजेक्ट भन्ने हेर्ने, यो प्रोसेस चाहिँ एकदम इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुन्छ। इट इज कन्सर्न विथ सिइङ वेदर द एक्टिभिटिज ह्याभ बिन अर बिङ पर्फर्म इज कन्फर्मिटी विथ द प्लान। यो चाहिँ हाम्रो प्लान अनुसार गइरहेको छ कि छैन भनेर कन्फर्म गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ टाइमली चेक गरेर। कन्ट्रोलिङ इन्क्लुड सेटिङ स्ट्यान्डर्ड, सुरुमै एउटा स्ट्यान्डर्ड सेट गर्ने, यो पनि कन्ट्रोलिङमै पर्छ। मेजरिङ एक्चुअल पर्फर्मेन्स हेर्ने, आइडेन्टिफाइङ डेभिएसन इफ एनी बिट्विन द एक्चुअल एन्ड प्लान पर्फर्मेन्स, यो पनि यो स्टेपमा एकदम इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुन्छ। कति बेला थाहा नै हुँदैन हाम्रो प्रोजेक्टबाट हामी आउट अफ ट्र्याक भइरहेको हुन्छौँ भनेर, यहाँ चाहिँ आइडेन्टिफाई गर्नु पनि एउटा इम्पोर्टेन्ट स्टेप हो। टेकिङ करेक्ट एक्सन्स टु एचिभ प्री डिटरमाइन्ड गोल्स, यो पनि करेक्ट एक्सन्स, यो जुन एक्सन्सले चाहिँ हामी ठ्याक्कै गोलतिर हिट गर्छौँ भन्ने कुरालाई पनि एउटा लिनुपर्ने हुन्छ, यो इम्पोर्टेन्ट हो। यति नै हो, मैले चाहिँ 5वटा मात्रै डिस्क्राइब गरेको छु, इम्पोर्टेन्ट 5वटै हो त्यही भएर 5वटा मात्रै गरेको छु। थ्याङ्क यू।
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So that was the function of management. These functions, these 5 functions explained, I know they just are put in order. The very first thing, the very first function that the management has to perform is planning. Okay, So once the planning is done, then you know what are the things, what are the activities that you have to carry out in order to achieve the goal. So for that, then the organizing function comes in. So you have to now divide your the management work into different tasks. You have to divide the work into different activities, and then again assign the responsibilities and authorities to the people, and you have to also allocate the resources. Now you have to it's called the division of work, or you describe the jobs to perform those activities, हैन? त्यसपछि organizing भन्छ। अब यसरी काम गर्ने भनेको you put everything in a very comprehensive manner how that work is to be carried out भनेर चाहिँ organize गरिसकेपछि, then what you have to do is you have to do the staffing. Now you have to fill those places with people. The right people have to be there at the right places. Okay, so that is called the staffing. And staffing, as he explained, it includes the whole range of human resource management, ranging from the recruitment of the people to retirement of the people. So in between, you have to train them, as he said. You have to develop them for them to be efficient in their work, in their jobs. So that was the staffing part. After staffing, then what you have to do is, then you have to lead them. So these functions are coming in order, right? Planning, then you organize them. Then after that, you have to staff them. And once the staff are there, once the people are there, then you have to lead them. Lead them means you have to motivate them to work. Okay, you have to counsel them, you have to mentor them, so that they are in a very excited state to work, and to they have this passion, or they have this motives of getting the organizational goal achieved. So that is how you have to keep them motivated, and that is the leading part that you have to do. You have to lead them. Okay, so once that is done, then you carry out, you implement your plan, and in course of implementation, you have to do the evaluation, how the activities are being performed. So you have your plan at one place, and then you monitor, then you evaluate how those activities are carried out, and you compare with those standards, or the plan that you have, you compare with them, and then you see whether your activities are being carried out as planned or not. If there are any deviations, then you have to have the controlling actions taken to to get the activities on track, so that you get your organizational goals achieved. So that was the whole idea of what are the functions of management, and he has explained in a very detailed manner. So what are the things that are done in planning, what are the activities that you do in organizing, and also in staffing, what you have to do. There is one very well-known statement about organizing, that is right people in right place. You have to have the right people, the right skills at the right place. That is the most important thing that you do in the staffing part. And it's not only what you do is in the recruitment, before you recruit the people, you define the job, and you also have these job specifications, right? So any job has job description and job specification. You must have come across different advertisements or area. So in most of the advertisements, what you see is you have these job descriptions. So those are the jobs that you have to perform when you are put into that place. I know you काम गर्नुपर्छ भनेर. So that is the requirement of the work that you have to perform. To job description huncha भने, then you will also see the job specification huncha tala, where it talks about your qualification, your skills, your training. All these things are there. So you have to recruit the people on the basis of the job he has to perform or she has to perform. At the same time, you also have to look into the skills they have, the experiences that they have. So these come under job specifications. So on the basis of those, then you have to recruit the people. But that is not enough. You have to be continuously nurturing the people, the employees that you have. So that's why the development part comes in. I know development much I need, then you have to train them, you have to let them participate in seminars, workshops, so that they learn and they enhance their capacities. त्यस्तो हो भने there are also people management मा के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि there are many they have their demands हैन people हरुको grievances होला, demands होला. So that is what you have to also have the proper mechanism to address to their grievances हैन कसैलाई employee लाई चाहिँ नि केही पनि complain भयो भने there has to be a proper system of how they put forward their grievances and how their grievances are handled. There might be disputes and you have to control them. There might be demands coming from the employee side. So that is where you have to now again go into negotiating with them. There is collective bargaining in the employees. So there is employees huncha, employees ko association huncha, where we call them unions huncha हैन. So the unions will put forward their charter of demand. हामीलाई यो चाहियो भनेर हुन्छ. Then the management again have to do the negotiation with them to provide them with their rights. The rights can be either कतिको चाहिँ नि it's the legitimate demand हुन्छ, कतिको चाहिँ interest demand हुन्छ तिनीहरुको. So those things are all these things. And the retirement, for example, they कसैलाई चाहिँ नि terminate गर्ने, कसैलाई retire भएपछि the post retirement facilities दिने, everything that is related with the human resource is done in this staffing part. And leading is another very important managerial function. You have to have the ability to lead your people. If you are not able to lead your people, if you are not able to motivate your people, then your organization goal will not be achieved. You have the very beautiful plan, you have a very beautiful goal set, but if you fail to motivate the people, if you fail to make them work, then that organization goal will not be achieved. So this leading part becomes very important. You have to have that leadership quality as a manager to lead them, to make them work. Okay. So you have to counsel them, you have to tease them, you have to sometimes pamper them, sometimes you might need to punish them. So these are the different tools or instruments that you have to use in order to make your people work. Okay, so that is the leading part. त्यति गरिसकेपछि and we should not forget that once we have the plan, to plan भएको जस्तै गइरहेको छ भन्ने, it might not be happening, the things might not be happening as we have planned. So you have to be continuously monitoring the activities that are being taken, the activities like monitor गर्नुपर्छ, and then you have your plans, and then you see at different intervals of time if it is being carried out. Then if it is being carried out as planned, then it's okay. If it is not, if there are deviations, if there are it's out of track, then you have to bring it back with corrective actions. Sometimes goals achieve हुँदैन. गोल अस्तिको त्यो गोल displacement को कुरा पनि गर्यौं हैन हामीले. So the goal might get displaced. So the goal displacement हुन्छ भनेपछि that is the monitoring and evaluation and control part becomes very important. That is one of the things. Plan गर्यो र सबै मान्छे मात्र राख्यो भन्दैमा हुँदैन. Then you have to be continuously evaluating it for control. Okay, so those are the 5 basic functions of management that was very clearly explained by Kshitiz. So if there is anything that you want to know more about these functions, then we can have a little bit of discussion, and then we'll go to next presentation, maybe by Tirtha, right? So if there is anything, we can discuss for a while. Anybody in regard to functions of management? Everything's clear? Don't have any queries, questions, or any clarifications on this? No? So nobody speaks means you understood everything very clearly. Okay, now we'll talk about what are the different levels of managers. We will there are agi planning ko kura garyo, Kshitij said that there are different levels of plannings are done in different levels. हामीले अस्ति goal setting ko kura गर्दाखेरि पनि we said that there are corporate goals, there are middle level goals, and there are low level goals. So similarly the plannings are done at different levels भन्यो नि अघि planning मा पनि. And for that's why there are managers at different levels. Then we'll see now what are the different levels of managers that exist in a typical organization. Right? It depends, right, on the size of the organization. Level known if it is a very small startup entrepreneurship, you might not find these distinct levels of managers now, but if it's a full-fledged organization, fully grown up organization, you normally see these different levels of managers or different levels of managements within that organization. So this will be explained to us by Tirtha.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Sir, I cannot share my screen.
Really?
Yes, sir. I'm not the co-host. I think you made Amrit Pandey co-host.
Amrit. Oh, sorry. Tirtha. Okay.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, thank you. So this is about managers and their hierarchy, the different levels of managers. We'll see who is a manager, what exactly they do, and why do we even need the levels of managers, and all about that. Okay. Managers, let's keep it very, very simple. A manager is a person. A manager is a person whose job is to control and administer an organization or a group of people working there. As simple as that. He does all the management jobs. Okay. I think it tells itself, and he do all the managing job in an organization. And we have so. We have these levels of managers, and three to be exact: top managers, middle managers, and first line managers. And the question may arise that why do we even need different managers or different levels of managers? Why can't we do it by ourselves, or why can't we just have managers? Okay. So the answer is that we cannot.
Tirtha, can you also turn your video on?
So I don't have a webcam. You
Okay.
have been asking me from the first class, and I've been telling.
Okay, you still don't have webcam. Sorry, I forgot.
No, okay,
So
sir.
you're not going. I'm not going to see you the whole semester.
So maybe next class I'll put a DP in my name. Okay, is that fine, sir?
Okay. Okay.
I guess that's one thing I can do. So okay.
But you're not going to arrange the video. I mean the camera, right?
I don't have a laptop with a webcam. My laptop does not have a webcam.
Okay. Fine. Okay. I can understand that. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. And yes, we need different levels of manager, because if we don't have one, things are going to get messier than we imagine. Okay, so there is this very beautiful thing, very beautiful thing called chain of command, which comes to our rescue. So how this works is we have a chain, we have different levels, we have different people working on different levels, and a person at one level, right, he supervise the level immediate below him or her, and they respond to the level immediate above him, and this chain continues. Okay, this is very beautiful thing. And yes, we have top managers, middle managers, first line managers, as in chain of command. So we just saw different levels of managers, and let's see what they do at different level. Okay, so we have a top managers at the topmost level, and they are like they are kind of the big elites among the people in the organization. Okay, they make the overall objectives, they are the one who shed mission, vision, and things like that. Okay, they give the organization a long term planning. They plan and make decisions, they make policies. Okay, and they provide directions, guidance, and they are the one who make contact with the outside world. Okay, they are the one, they may be the one who respond to the shareholders, and things like that. They control and coordinates different departments, and yeah, these are things that top manager guys do. Okay, then we have middle managers, and the first thing they do, the one of the first thing they do is they report to the top management. Okay, top level managers. We saw back in the chain of command, and this is how it works. And they are the one who oversee the first level managers, first line managers. Okay, and other things they do, they look for different departments, and they are the one. Okay, top level managers, they make the plan, and these are the guys who interpret the plan. Okay, interpret the plan. And yes, and this is what they do. And we have the first line managers and the bottom of our pyramid. Okay, uh, and yes, they supervise the employees, the people below them, and they respond to middle managers, the people above them. Okay, and they are the one who are involved in day operations. They coordinate activities, and yes, and they arrange things. And okay, we can say that they motivate workers, they ensure the discipline in the enterprise, and they provide training to the workers and things like that. A lot of things we can add. Okay, so we just saw the levels of managers and what they do. Now let's see who exactly are they. Okay, so on the top level, we have the big guys called CEOs, CMOs, right? CTOs, and the president, the vice president of the company, and the managing director and chief sales officer, and a lot of big names here. And at the middle level, we have marketing managers, things like branch managers, operation managers, and we have human resource managers, finance managers, and more people like them. And at the lowest level, we have supervisors, inspectors, junior managers, foremen, and clerks. Okay, these are the people in our pyramid. Um, so okay, this is all about managers. Their different their levels, their hierarchy, what they do, and who are they. Thank you for cooperating.
Okay, thank you. Uh, so now from the class, is there anything that you have to we have to discuss more on this, or you have any question to Tirtha? No. Clear?
No questions? Then
Okay, so he talked about 3 levels of managers, or there are 3 levels in the process of management. You know, they are carried out at different levels. Manager is a person who is responsible to carry out the the activities of the organization through the people. Okay, so they are the people who are responsible to achieve the goals of the organization through the people. So they have all these responsibilities. They carry out all the functions. Those functions are carried out by these managers at different levels. So there are 3 levels of management. One is the top level management. They are the people, they are the managers who set the corporate goals, the bigger goals. They set the mission, vision, and the corporate goals of the organization. I know, and they are the vice presidents, CEOs, CTOs, CFOs. These are the people who actually do these functions of management at the top level. So at the bottom, if it is a diversified organization, for example, a company can have number of companies. Euda company ko feri there are different businesses huna sakcha. It's not only one single business always. So the corporate goal, for example, let's talk about one of the conglomerate like Chaudhary group of organizations. So that is one, the corporate level at the business level they have different companies. So that becomes the middle level at that scenario. Okay. And if it is a single business, then the CEO and these people are the top level managements at the department levels or middle level management. So it depends on the size of the organization. So there might be 3 level divide so there might be multiple levels. So generally divide middle level managers kun level ko planning kun level ko directing kun level ko organizing. So all these 5 functions of management are carried out at different levels. So top level management is concerned about these corporate goals, corporate plannings, corporate strategies. And in order to achieve that corporate strategies and corporate goals or corporate mission, then there are, at the middle level, you have the managers who will make their own plans to contribute to that top level management, top level plan. Okay. So they will do all these managerial functions. Then below that, you have the first line managers or the lower level managers who make these plans in a smaller form. They have to have these planning done, but at a smaller level, maybe for day-to-day level. Okay. Level but you have to make sure that there is a corporate goal which you have to achieve. And your planning at the middle level has to be in line with the planning or the goals of the top level. And your lower level management has to be in line with your middle level management. So that goes in that hierarchy. So one lower level management will contribute to the middle one, and the middle one will contribute to the corporate one, and that's how the corporate goals are achieved. Okay. A foreman, for example, lower level management is the foreman. For example, in the factory, they will schedule as a yo kam गर्ने. Our goal is to make these many numbers of or these many units of our product. र यसको लागि चाहिँ नि हामी आज यो गर्छौं. These will be scheduling. We will have a 5-minute break after every half an hour. All these schedulings will be done at that management level. And those management planning you always have to look at the middle level management. Above mero production manager ko chahi ke ta goal bhandakeri, on the basis of that goal you have to have that lower level management done. But the production manager le chahi jun goal banaउँछ, that has to be in line with that corporate goal. So that is one thing that you have to remember. You cannot just have the plannings done haywire. haphazardly. You always have to look at the top level goals in order to make your lower level goals and lower level plannings. Okay, so that is how the management levels exist in organization. So after that, then we'll talk about different types of managers. Types of managers, Mapani, there are three different types of managers that we see. Right? One type of manager is called the functional manager. There are managers who are also called the generalist manager, and there is another type of manager which is termed as staff manager. ये तीन किस्म को manager in generally the managers are divided into three types. One is functional, another one is generalist, and the third one is staff. Now let's try to see how they are different. Functional managers are the managers who are specialized in certain area, in certain domain. Okay, for example, if it is a manager who takes care about the marketing function of the organization, one who heads the marketing division or marketing department over it, that marketing manager is a functional manager. He is very specialized in marketing, I know, and he does all the managerial activities related to marketing. So that's called the functional manager. This type of managers are called the functional managers, or they are also called the specialized managers. I know. So there you have, if your organization is departmentalized or divided into functional departments, then each department is headed by these functional managers, specialized managers. You will have a finance manager, you will have marketing manager, you have production manager, then you'll have operations manager. So on the basis of how you have specialized in certain area, then you will be responsible for that specialized area, and you head that function, or you head that specialized domain. Those managers are called the functional managers. Okay, clear? Functional managers. You guys are not at all talking. This class has to be very interactive. I told you in the very first class. Functional manager. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we'll come to another kind of managers who are called generalists. Generalists. They are not specialized in one function as the functional managers, but they handle all the functions. They are the generalist. I can give you an example of generalist manager as in government organizations, for example. अरूमा पनि हुन्छ, प्राइभेटमा पनि हुन्छ, but very prominent example of generalist manager is the government organizations. For example, if you look at the secretaries of the ministry, secretaries of the ministry भनिसकेपछि त्यो secretary, he is a manager who handles all the areas. He is not specialized in one thing. हैन? अब एउटा सचिव आउँछ एउटा मन्त्रालयमा भने, he is working in कृषि मन्त्रालय once and he gets transferred to Ministry of Science. त्यसपछि he might go to the Ministry of Energy. So यसरी they are the generalist managers, and they they are not specialized in one area. So those types of managers are called the generalist managers. And even in private companies, you have the general managers. General managers means he supervises all different functions. Managers or so these are the types of managers that we can have in the organization. अर्को म्यानेजर्स भनेको चाहिँ स्टाफ म्यानेजर who are actually not the managers who are on the hierarchy. त्यो hierarchy हाम्रो म्यानेजमेन्टको hierarchy levelsमा उनीहरू नआए पनि they sometimes are there to manage the organization in the form of advisory kind of managers. कहिलेकाहीँ they stay out of that hierarchy and they do the management from outside laterally, हैन lateral form मा चाहिँ उनीहरुको चाहिँ नि advices-हरु आउँछ, management tips-हरु आउँछ, management गर्ने तरिकाहरु techniques-हरु उनीहरुको आउँछ, and those are called the advisory body भन्छ के तिनीहरुलाई, जस्तै हुन्छ नि सल्लाहकार भनेर हुन्छ in many organizations. You know, they are the advisors. They do time to time advising. They do time to time teaching or counseling of the entire management team लाई नै उनीहरुले बाहिर बसेर चाहिँ नि manage गर्न सिकाउँछ भने that those are called the staff manager. But धेरै अब उनीहरु as effectively गरिराख्ने भनेको चाहिँ नि it can be in the form of generalist manager, hierarchy मै बसेर गर्नेहरु चाहिँ नि they are sometimes generalist and functional भएर काम गर्छ. Functional भयो भने specialized area मा मात्रै काम गर्ने हो, generalist भयो भने then you supervise all the functions. ठीक छ, बुझ्यो different types of managers.
So your board of directors हुन्छ नि?
Yeah, board of directors, exactly. Board of directors चाहिँ नि they are they advise अघि त्यो भन्यो नि staff हैन, they are not into these day-to-day operations मा उनीहरु आउँदैन, but they are there to advise the management. So you can say that this is the type of managers which are called the staff managers. A specialized manager मा चाहिँ अब functional manager मा चाहिँ as I said एउटै function मा finance manager ले finance को मात्रै काम गर्छ. Okay, he heads everything. He does all this budgeting and he does all these investments कहाँ गर्ने, कस्तो ठाउँमा इन्भेस्ट गर्ने, कति इन्भेस्ट गर्ने, what should be the return, यो सबै चीज चाहिँ उसले गर्छ भने मार्केटिङ म्यानेजरले चाहिँ नि मार्केटिङ म्यानेजरले चाहिँ नि अब हाम्रो चाहिँ नि कतिवटा प्रोडक्ट बनाउने, what should be the pricings, how do we price it, and what are the different promotional activities that we have to carry out भन्ने all सबै यो गर्ने चाहिँ नि मार्केटिङले गर्छ फेरि. Okay, so there is always when these okay, एउटा अब डिस्कसन नै गरौँ है त. So there are functional managers and there are generalist managers. यो दुईटाको let's try to see the difference or the pros and cons of these two types of managers. Okay, we'll have a discussion on that. Let's see. So we'll just have a debate over here among yourselves. Which do you prefer? General management, generalist kind of managers, or the specialized managers or the functional managers? Which one do you think is better?
I think companyको स्केलमा डिपेन्ड गर्छ. किनभने सो कुनै कम्पनीले स्पेशलाइज्ड म्यानेजर्स डिफरेन्ट डिपार्टमेन्टको लागि यदि हायर गर्न सक्दैन भने त्यति बेला एउटा जेनरलिस्ट बेटर होला. तर यदि कम्पनी ठुलो छ, उनीसँग रिसोर्सेस इनफ छ भने आई थिंक स्पेशलाइज्ड म्यानेजर्सहरु बेटर होला नि. त्यो मेरो ओपिनियन.
So one instance, one example, or one situation of need to have generalist is when you are a small company. I know you are a small company, you are a startup company, then you cannot have all these functional managers. So you as a CEO will handle everything, and you will be a generalist manager at that time. When you are a startup and you cannot hire the specialized people, you cannot have all these functions divided into specialized functions, and you need the generalist manager. So this is the situation. But here I'm talking about which one is better, having generalists or specialized ones. Anish, what is your take on this?
So I think it depends on situations and organizations also. If you are as a managing company, you would need the general managers. But if you are delivering a specific product, specific kind of products, then I think it would be better if the organization has a functional managers. Like in technology company, there are CTOs, and in marketing and advertisement companies, there are marketing managers, chief marketing managers, like that. I think like that. So
okay, Sonu,
Yes, sir.
what is your take? Which one do you think is better, to have generalists as managers or to have specialized people as managers?
Specialized people as manager.
Why?
Because they may manage the people around organization, you know, and staff inside the organization they manage.
But what happens is when you have a specialized managers, they are they are the expertise in that area only. They will have no idea of other departments. So there will be some sort of lack of bridging between these two departments. Your problem when you have this specialized as compared to the generalist as managers. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's a seamless management when it is a generalist managed company, as opposed to if it is a specialized departmentalized company, then there is there is lack of coordination, and there is always the buck passing thing. Again,
Yes.
if things go wrong, one department will not take the responsibility of that, will not be accountable, will just try to pass the buck to another department.
Yes.
But what is the advantage of specialized? Disadvantage चाहिँ यो हुन्छ, coordination अलि कम हुन्छ generalist भन्दा कम हुन्छ भने. What is the advantage of having specialized managers? Who is this? I'm Nadeep. Now I have to call the people whose cameras are off. Nadeep. Are you there? Nadeep is there or gone back to sleep? Rabindra. Rabindra. Oh my God, this is terrible, yaar. You are logged on and you don't speak. You are not even there. Look at this. There are there are 20 people out of 48, and half of you even don't show your face and speak. Class को आदि त यहाँ प्रेजेन्ट छ, फेरि त्यसको आदिले बोल्दैन.
सर मेरो चाहिँ यहाँ घरमा काम परिरहेछ है, म पुकार बोलेको, एकछिन 5-10 मिनेटलाई हुँदैन है।
Look at this. Okay, now, Rabindra doesn't speak. Nadeep does not speak.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, I have a small walk in my home. I will be off for 5 minutes.
Okay, what else can I do?
So, म पुकार हो है।
Okay.
म आइहाल्छु।
This is the casualness we have. You know, you're in the class and you're doing your household chores. Okay, Minnav.
Sir.
Just say something on these two managers.
मैले यहाँ दुईवटा पोइन्ट लेखेको थिएँ सर। अब फर्स्ट अफ अल अर्गनाइजेसनको स्ट्रक्चर अनुसार पनि इट डिपेन्ड्स अब whether you want to be a generalist or whether you want to be a specialized manager हैन। अनि अब उसको अर्गनाइजेसनको स्ट्रक्चर एज एन अब हजुरले भन्नुभयो जुन यो ब्युरोक्रेटिक सिस्टम जुन एउटा सचिवहरूको जुन गभर्मेन्टल लेभलमा जुन हुन्छ नि सर, त्यसमा पनि त्यो सचिवहरूको ट्रान्सफरको मनुभर हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ कस्तो देखिन्छ भने उनीहरूलाई त्यो आउँछ नै भन्ने चाहिँ फिक्स हुँदैन कि सर त्यहाँ। त्यो किनभने त्यो मैले पनि एउटा दुईवटा रिपोर्टहरू पढेको थिएँ न्युज पेपरहरूमा हैन। अर्थ सचिवलाई हजुरको परराष्ट्र मन्त्रालयमा लगेर राख्दाखेरि अनि दे निड टु ह्याभ सम ट्रेनिङ ओभर देयर सो द्याट दे क्यान लर्न हैन। त्यो एउटा प्रोसेस नै हुन्छ त्यहाँ, किनभने अल्टिमेट त्यो अटोमेटिकली उनीहरूलाई त्यो नलेज चाहिँ हुँदैन रहेछ भन्ने कुरै थाहा भयो त्यो चाहिँ हैन।
No, they are not trained at that level. They are not trained. They are not trained. You are heading the Ministry of Education, and then after 6 months, then you will get transferred to the Ministry of Environment.
Yes, sir.
See, the difference that you see in the nature of work that the Environment Ministry does and the Ministry of Education does, you know, it's a very different things. And as a secretary, you know, you're heading education, and all of a sudden then you have to head the environment. So these things.
True. I mean, the way I see it, the way I read it, के explain गरेको थियो भने जस्तो अब अर्थ सचिव भनेर यदि कुनै एउटा त्यो जब पोर्टफोलियो खोलेर अथवा त्यसरी मान्छेलाई रिक्रुट गर्ने भन्ने कुरो त्यहाँबाट त्यो एउटा ब्युरोक्रेटिक सिस्टमबाट अपलिफ्ट हुँदै आउने हिसाबको जुन एउटा तरिका छ नेपालको सिस्टममा, जेनरलाइज म्यानेजर जुन हजुरले अहिले एक्जाम्पल दिनुभयो, उनीहरूलाई पनि त्यो कम्प्लिटली नलेज चाहिँ हुँदैन। जस्तो अब उनीहरूको काम भनेको त एउटा भिजन लेआउट गर्ने हो। मन्त्रीहरू गएर बस्ने भनेको त त्यो भिजनमा उनीहरूले सिग्नेचर मात्रै गर्ने हो हैन। त्यो उनीहरूले 5 इयर प्लान अथवा 10 इयर प्लान के छ, अब त्यो गभर्मेन्टको एउटा जुन एउटा भिजन हुन्छ त्यो भिजनलाई उनीहरूले पोर्ट्रे गरेर आफ्नो डकुमेन्टेसनमा मेन्टेन गरेर राख्ने काम हुन्छ सचिवहरूको हैन, ब्युरोक्रेट्सहरूको भनौँ न। जेनरलाइज म्यानेजर त्यस्ता भयो, तिनीहरूसँग पनि एक्ज्याक्टली सुरुदेखि नै नलेज नहुने रहेछ भन्ने कुरो चाहिँ 2-3वटा आर्टिकलमा त्यो देखियो। अनि अब जुन स्पेसलाइज म्यानेजरको चाहिँ जुन तिनीहरूको जुन राम्रो पक्ष चाहिँ के हुन्छ भने चाहिँ सरले सोध्नुभयो कि मलाई चाहिँ के लाग्छ भने सर एफिसिएन्ट, किनभने स्पेसलाइज भइसकेपछि उनीहरू एउटा पर्टिकुलर डोमेनमा मात्रै उनीहरू फिक्स भएर काम गर्नुपर्ने भएपछि उनीहरूको काम जेनरलाइज भन्दा जुन कोअर्डिनेसनको पार्टहरू जेनरल म्यानेजर भन्दा उनीहरूको अलि राम्रो पनि हुन्छ, एट द सेम टाइम अलि एफिसिएन्ट र इफेक्टिभ पनि हुन्छ कि भन्ने चाहिँ मलाई लाग्छ स्पेसलाइजको चाहिँ हैन। मैले चाहिँ अब त्यही अनि अब प्रोजेक्टहरू कस्तो अन्डरटेक गरिरहेको छन्, अब एज अब निजी प्राइभेट अर्गनाइजेसन हो अथवा गभर्मेन्टल अर्गनाइजेसन हो हैन, उनीहरूले प्रोजेक्टहरू कस्तो अन्डरटेक गरिरहेको छ त्यसमा पनि डिपेन्ड गर्छ होला सर। अब जेनरलाइज म्यानेजर चाहिने हो कि अब स्पेसलाइज म्यानेजर चाहिने हुनसक्छ भन्ने कुरालाई यो 3टा पोइन्ट लेखेको छु सर मैले चाहिँ। आई थिङ्क अब त्यतिले नै मैले चाहिँ त्यति नै बुझेको छु सर, त्यही भएर त्यति नै भन्छु।
अब जेनरलाइज्ड म्यानेजर चाहिन्छ कति अर्गनाइजेसनहरुमा, बिकज दे हैव टु ओभरलुक एभ्रिथिङ हैन। But if you have the specialized manager, they are specialized in one particular area. As you said, you know, there might be more efficiency in that, because as you have been working on that area over the period of time, then you have the efficiency in that. But as opposed to you know, specialized managers, if you have the general managers, they have this, you know, capacity of you know, learning the things very quickly. Okay, you know, they have that very wide vision of looking at things, but they are always assisted by the specialized people. Right? अब एउटा नन टेक्निकल सचिव आयो भने in for example in the Ministry of Energy where hydropower is one of the major area ho भने then he he has the ability to handle all those things, but he needs technical assistance from the specialized people. Get usko capacity huncha. We have seen. I work in the government organization, and we have seen that they somehow grasp everything so quickly, even the technical things. They have that kind of a vision as they have handled different areas over the period of time, and they have this ability which the specialized managers don't have. अब हाम्रो इन्जिनियरहरू सचिव हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ they are placed only in this टेक्निकलैमा चाहिँ बसेको हुन्छ उनीहरू हैन as सचिव. But if you talk about this administrative the प्रशासनतिरको सचिव भयो भने चाहिँ नि they just have to manage very diverse kind of organizations, and it's a always it's a very never ending debate हुन सक्छ यो generalist कि specialized भन्दाखेरि. Specialized चाहिँ नि कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि it's sometimes very costly हैन, costly हुन्छ. As a general manager in your organization, you handling up सानो हाम्रो स्टार्टअपकै कुरा गर्दाखेरि नि एउटा सानो कम्पनी खोल्दाखेरि it's always better to have these specialized managers, because they are efficient, they have more in-depth knowledge about that area. But sometimes it becomes very, very unaffordable to have all these functions departmentalized in that specialized way. But one has always the advantage over another, त्यो दुईटैको चाहिँ नि कसैको के एडभान्टेज हुन्छ भने कसैको के डिसएडभान्टेज हुन्छ. And depending upon the nature of the organization, depending upon the size of the organization, you might choose to have generalists as managers or specialized people as managers. Okay, but you have to do the analysis. यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि specialized राख्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि के चाहिँ नि एडभान्टेज होला के डिसएडभान्टेज होला भन्ने यो management मा चाहिँ नि you have to always keep thinking critically, because you have to make decision at the end of the day. So you always have to look at the things critically, trying to analyze the pros and cons of each, so that then your decision would be the right decision in the end of the day. So that's how I just wanted to make you do a little bit of analysis. Yo kun चाहिँ राम्रो kun चाहिँ नराम्रो, but each one has its own benefits and cons. But try to do the analysis, and as exactly as you said, it depends upon the nature of the organization, depends upon the life cycle of the organization. These things might vary. Okay, now after that. We'll talk about the skills, managerial skills. So what are the skills that the managers have to have? Let me share this slide to you. So what are the different skills that the managers have to have? There are three kinds of skills that the managers should have. So one is called the conceptual skill. Okay, one is the conceptual skill. Then there is the human skill, people skill. Okay, that is the interpersonal skills. That is very important skills that the managers should have. And the third one is the technical skills, your job skill. I know. Yes, Machani, these three, if you see this, the rectangular, the diagram there next to that, these skills. Conceptual skills ho bhane chahi kasto huncha bhane it's a broader kind of a skill that the managers should have. They have to have this vision, long-term vision. Okay, long-term strategies, these kinds of skills that you should be able to think about. These are the bigger things that you have to have the skills of. Initiativeness, कसरी इनिसिएसन गर्ने, कसरी चाहिँ नि यसमा चाहिँ नि नयाँ आइडियाज ल्याउने, how to bring about the creativity, all these bigger things that you have to have the capacity to think about. So these are the conceptual skills that the managers should have. हैन, vision हुनु पर्यो. Then another very important is the interpersonal skill भनेको चाहिँ नि, in the as a manager you are dealing with the people. Okay, and the people skill is very important, how you communicate with them. Okay, how you mentor them, how you lead them, how you motivate them, because you have to have the employees always motivated. So you have to have that skills of motivating the people, motivating the employees. You also have to have the skill of teaching or mentoring your employees. You have to have these interpersonal, that is, these are the skills related to people management. Your skills are it's not technical, it's not very conceptual thing, but you have to have those skills of dealing with the people. So that is another important skill that the managers should have. If you don't have that people skill, for example, you might see different kinds of leaders. I know there are very authoritative, autocratic kind of leaders who are always trying to lead the people through negative means. Negatively चाहिने मान्छेलाई चाहिँ काम गराउन खोज्छ भने it's a very autocratic kind of a leader. But there are people who just motivate the people very positively. They use the very positive way of motivating the people. Skill, how you deal with the people, that is the interpersonal skill that is very important. Again, we have to do the analysis. Sometimes you have to be having very interpersonal skills and positively so it's a skill that you have to have, how you deal with the people. Or technical skills, your job related skill that you have to have. Now if you see if you look at this picture, there are 3 levels of management. As we said, there's a top level management, middle level management, and the lower level management, right? And if you look at this, then you see that conceptual skill, you see that inverted triangle, and here you have another triangle, pink color triangle, and you have this the diamond shaped interpersonal. What does this figure says? What this figure says is, at the top level management, it's very important to have that conceptual skill. You see that conceptual skills and only broad, it's the pointed one, right? So what it says is, conceptual skill धेरै चाहिन्छ top level managers लाई. They have to have these conceptual skills. अनि middle level मा अलि कम भए पनि पुग्छ. Lower level management does not need to have a lot of conceptual skill. चाहिँदैन, सबभन्दा बढी चाहिने in conceptual skill चाहिने भनेको at the top level. So that's why you see that the broader side of the triangle at the top. Coming to the technical skill is very important for the lower level management. They have to have these job related skills more. They do not have to have this conceptual skill. Those visionary, those long term things, they should not, it's not required for them to have these kinds of conceptual skills. Okay, so what they have to have more is the technical, the job related skills. So that's why you see the broader side of the triangle at the lower level management. And talking about this blue one, which is the interpersonal or the people skill, which is important at all levels, equally important. So the one takeaway from this slide is that interpersonal skill is the most important skill in management. You deal with the people better, you achieve the goal sooner or effectively. Okay, so that is why interpersonal skill is important. Interpersonal skill ma chai ni if you are very good at interpersonal skill, you are a good manager. So it is required at all levels. Okay, clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay. अर्को म्यानेजर्सको हामीलाई चाहिने we have to see is what are the different roles that the managers play. Different roles. के रोल खेल्छ म्यानेजरले हैन भन्दाखेरि the managers are the people who have to play these 10 roles. 10 वटा रोल चाहिँ उनीहरूले प्ले गर्नुपर्छ in an organization, and these 10 roles are divided into 3 broader roles, which are called the interpersonal roles, informational role, and decisional role. Yo tinta role unharule play garनुपर्छ. They are playing these roles of being, role of a interpersonal role play garनुपर्छ. They have to play the role of information related role खेल्नुपर्छ र एउटा decision related roles हुन्छ हैन. So in the interpersonal roles, what we have is you have to play the role of a figurehead. Interpersonal. Figurehead bhaneko, you have to play the role of a role model. You have to do the things. You have to do the things in such a way that the people, your subordinates, your colleagues will look at you to adopt that. You have to have that figurehead kind of a role where you are looked at by others. I know the way you carry out your activities, the way you speak, the way you lead, the way you communicate. These become the the source of learning. They will take it as they will see you as the role model to adopt those things. So you have to play that role of a role model as a figurehead. Then leader, as we said, leader is a person who makes people do the things that the organization wants to achieve. As a leader, you have to have the interpersonal skills. As a leader, you have to leading गर्ने भनेको चाहिँ नि you incentivize them, you motivate them, you teach them, you mentor them. So these are the interpersonal things that you carry out.
This class will end in 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. So that is the leader role that you play as a leader. Then you also have to play the role of a liaison. Liaison is the person who actually does the the bridging. So you are, as an interpersonal roles, you are bridging your organization with the outsiders. You have to do the bridging role as a liaison role, okay, as a manager. So these are the interpersonal skills, or these are the interpersonal roles that the managers play. अर्को चाहिँ नि informational roles भनेको चाहिँ नि, so as in informational roles, you play the role of a monitor. You are monitoring your subordinates, and then you are giving information to them to make them more capable. Okay, so that is the information that the knowledge sharing that you do with your subordinates. Then you also play the role of a disseminator. Disseminator means you are spreading the information to other levels, or to your lateral departments, or to your departments lower to your department. China. For example, our dissemination goes, and you have learned something. You have, for example, gone in a seminar as a manager, and you learned a lot of things there, and you have to come in and disseminate that to your people in there. So that is actually spreading of the knowledge that you have. That is the dissemination of the knowledge that you have, and that is the disseminator's role. अर्को चाहिँ the spokesperson's role हुनुपर्छ, which is actually, you know, you are sharing the information of your organization with the outside world. Spokesperson. So sometimes you see the, you know, the CEOs and CFOs and CTOs coming out, you know, having the speech done to the public. So you come out as the spokesperson, which is also the informational role that you carry out. Right? Now, decisional roles, they have this entrepreneurial role. Now you have to make a decision as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, you have to take the risks. You have to be creative. You have to be innovative. Yes, the role khelna parcha. You have to be innovative. You have to take risks. You have to be creative. You have to be the flag bearer of something. Those are the one of the roles, which is the role called the entrepreneurial role. Then there is a role which is the disturbance handler. So there are conflicts in the organization. You know, there are conflicts between people. There are conflicts between departments. So as the manager, then you have to be a disturbance handler. You have to be resolving these disputes. You have to be, managing or pacifying the turbulence that you have in the organization. Another is the decision roles as a resource allocator, which is a very difficult job. You know, resources always scarce in an organization, and you should have that decision roles to allocate. Kalai kati, kalai ke, kalai kati budget dine, kalai kati चाहिने physical resource dine भन्ने कुरा. It's a decision role of a manager. You have to be very, very astute at deciding which resources will go to whom. So these are the resource allocator and the decisional role that you play. And the negotiator, as a negotiator, you have to do a lot of negotiations when it comes to, you know, managing the organization. Might be, you know, you might be doing the negotiations with your clients. You might be doing negotiations with your suppliers. You might be doing negotiation with the policymakers. So these are the negotiating roles that you have to play, and it's the decision role that you play in the organization. So these 10 roles that you play in the organization as managers. Right? So we are running out of time. So as emerging challenges of management, it's a topic. I will assign this to Pukar. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
One topic to you, the next class to present is emerging challenges in management.
Thank you, sir.
Hey. And
so these 9 points are the challenges.
Yeah, you can. This is so. There is कुनै you know what नै हुन्छ थोडा नै हुन्छ भन्ने हुँदैन है यिनीहरुमा. It's all your researches that अलिकति internet हेरेर you can bring something very different from these list. So what are the challenges that, you know, the managers are facing in this changing business environment भन्ने कुरा? It can be anything, right? You just don't limit to your यही 9वटा हुन्छ, यही नै point हुन्छ भन्ने चाहिँ नि नगरिकन, just let's have a discussion on this topic in the next class.